Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to put a 12 volt and 120 volt refrigerator to the test to see which one is the best garage fridge, compact garage fridge that is. So stick around and we're going to get right into it. So we have the Arctic King refrigerator that I got from Walmart. There is absolutely nothing special about it. It's a 1.7 cubic inch refrigerator, and there are some things I don't like about it, and we'll get into that here in a second. The 12 volt refrigerator was sent to me by SetPower. It's a 27 quart, approximately just under 1 cubic foot refrigerator, and this is an RF25 12 volt. Now there's some really cool things about this refrigerator, and like I said with the other one, we're going to get into it. The first thing, if you've ever seen these online or any videos, it does have this nifty removable top lid, and then you can switch the lid to the other side. It just slides right in these little grooves, so it's modular, which would come in handy if we were going to put this in our RV, because the spot where I would put it, it would have to open this way so we could actually access it. So that's a really cool feature. They do also sell a taller lid that just slides right on, just like that one slid off, so you can fit taller drinks in here. I think you could put up to a 2-liter height in here. The other cool thing about this fridge is it is a freezer also. So this will drop to -4 degrees and you can freeze whatever you want. So this fridge did come with a bit more than the other one. So it came with a user's manual and an Energy Star guide. Then it comes with 2 ways to power it. 120 volt plug. That's what we'll be using mostly today. And then the 12 volt cigarette lighter style plug. We'll try that out as well. It does not come with that thermometer. That's what we're going to talk about here. It does come with this, and I've already filled it with water. This is I guess you could use it as a water jug if you want to cool water. But what it's really meant for is to freeze with the water in it, and then if you lost power, it would continue to keep your drinks cold like a fridge. One of the other things you may have just seen here is this little list. When my wife opened this up and saw it, she said, "Oh, that's really cool. It tells you what temperature to keep your water, your drinks, your juice, your red wine, fruit, vegetables, meat, seafood." So that's a really cool feature because you can manually set this. You also can use the app. So this does have a Bluetooth app. It's a very simple Bluetooth app, nothing special, but it's cool. You can, if this is in the back of the car, back of the RV, or out here, and I want to just check on it, see if it's working, I can pull up the app. And it comes with the QR codes right there, so you can download the app. That's what I did, download the iOS app. So it's got a control panel over here. So just up and down on the temperature, power on, and then you can cycle through the few. It's only got a few functions, but they're all pretty simple. And then it's got these tie downs. So the first thing I thought when I took this out of the box was it might be a little bit small. Obviously, if I'm looking at this for a garage fridge, I'm just looking at something to hold drinks and a few snacks. So this is not as small as I thought it was. The other thing about the size of this that my wife said is that it's perfect. She said it's the perfect size to take on a trip, right? So I can have it in the fridge. It can be cooling drinks. We can take it in the house. We can throw some other drinks and snacks, lunch in there for us and the family. Head to the beach, keep it plugged into the car, take it out of the car, plug it into a battery bank, you name it. But it is the perfect size to actually carry and lift and put into your vehicle. Anything bigger, you're going to want wheels. You're going to need 2 people. So this is, I would say, the perfect size for a day trip, a getaway, lunch, maybe a little bit for dinner, a handful of drinks for, a small family. This is perfect. So I'll be testing 2 things in this video mainly. First, you can see I have this thermometer, digital thermometer. I already showed you the one that's in that refrigerator. And here's another one here in this refrigerator. So the SetPower 12 volt is refrigerator number 1. This refrigerator is refrigerator is number 2. Number 3 is just another thermometer sitting over there on the thing. And then 84 degrees is what the temperature is right now in the garage. So I'm going to turn these on. They're both going to be plugged into that power strip. I'm going to flip it on, and I'm just going to set a timer, and we're going to find out when they bottom out at temperature, which one gets the temperature fastest. After we figure out how quickly they get to temperature and what temperature they get to, and the SetPower is really interesting because it has a digital display on the side that tells you the temperature, and your phone will tell you. So multiple ways. This one has none of that, so I'll be able to use this. After they're at their operating temperatures, I'm going to go ahead and plug in this amp meter. And this amp meter is going to tell us, I'm going to set it for 1 hour, or at least a timer for 1 hour. And we're going to take a measurement, and we're going to find out how much energy this uses in 1 hour. And before we start testing, we can talk about the size. Definitely this refrigerator does have a little bit more size to it. I think the door here is where it kind of wins in the size category, because you can put a couple of extra drinks in here, a tall one, probably a 2-liter right here, another can or two here. But this refrigerator was installed in our RV. We replaced our oven and put this refrigerator in the RV. I bought it for $88 on Walmart.com. It's currently that same price. That SetPower runs right around $200. The problem with this refrigerator is it's not a cold refrigerator. It's just a drink fridge. So this temperature stays around 40, 50 degrees when we are running it. So you'll grab the drinks and you'll notice that they're not as cold as the other refrigerator in the RV. The problem is, on the website, this refrigerator does not say anything about the temperature, or that it's only a drink fridge, or that it doesn't get down to, the coldness that it needs to. And we've had this thing on max cooling. So this thing is currently set to max cooling, and we've had this thing on max cooling the whole time, and it's just not that cold. Even in the RV, when the RV is not warm at all. So that's what I don't like about this refrigerator. And back to the size, you do have this here, but the way this bottom shelf is and this top shelf, it gets really awkward, and you run out of room extremely quickly. So does not have as much room as it looks, and the space it is inside is fairly awkward. This one, again, it's a little better than half the size of that one on paper, but it's very cut and dry and straightforward with how you can stack and put things in here. So much more clear on what you can do with each of these refrigerators. And again, this one can be a full freezer. So you can freeze any type of meat you want. You can freeze anything else you want and just put it in here, leave it in the garage, whatever you want. So let's set up our first test. So as I said, both of them are plugged into that power strip that is currently off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Set my timer. So my timer is set for 1 hour. This refrigerator currently says 75 degrees. I'm going to set it for its minimum setting, -4 degrees. So we're currently set at -4 degrees on the SetPower. And it should be on max cooling. So max cooling at -4 degrees. So I don't know if this reads higher than 75 degrees, which is, why it's currently 86 degrees inside, and then 85 in this fridge. So we're going to check in shortly. This one says it actually cools, I think it's supposed to get down to the 30s in about 15 minutes. I'll verify that and come back and take a look at it. And then we'll take a look at this one, and we're going to compare maybe in 15 minutes and then 30 minutes where these refrigerators are at and when they're ready to be tested to see how much power they consume in exactly 1 hour. Now, and I'll leave them both on, and I'm going to set this one is set to max. So this one will be set to its max cooling, which is -4 degrees. So in essence, we're going to be testing how much freezing power, so at the minimum/maximum setting, how much this pulls when compared to this one, which is going to be cooling at a much higher rate because it's set to -4 degrees. It's been 15 minutes. I gave up on that because the wireless part isn't working. The refrigerator says it's 64 degrees. And the thermostat inside, this one's not reading quite yet. This one says 63 degrees. The thermostat inside was right on the money. I took it out and switched it. So this one is at 74 degrees. So this was 10 degrees cooler, 10 degrees warmer. So this one dropped 20 degrees, and this one's only dropped 10 degrees in 15 minutes. I think another interesting test that I might try later is to see how much energy it actually takes for it to cool all the way down. But if you have it plugged in and on all the time in the garage, you're probably not going to be doing that. But that is an interesting test to do. If you want me to do that in the future, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to stick to the 2 tests that I'm doing right now. We've hit the 30-minute mark. Decided to go ahead and show you the SetPower app to check the temperature on this fridge. And we're at 46 degrees. So in 30 minutes, we've dropped from, 86 to 46 degrees. So we're doing pretty well. Everything in there is going to be cold. And on this one, we have to open it up and check this. And we are at 62. So we are 20. We've only dropped 10 more degrees, but we've already dropped, 40 degrees on that one. So every 15 minutes, you're going to drop 20 degrees. Every 15 minutes, you're going to drop 10 degrees. So it takes a little while longer for this one to match that one, but that's what we got. What I found out, why my thermometer's not doing what it needs to do, is because once I took this one out, swapped them, it's just not reading through the wall of these refrigerators. But yeah, this one's pretty cool. If you saw, I showed that I put this really cool ice maker in there, and we'll keep this going until that ice is good and frozen, and show you that cool ice maker. But that's a huge benefit to this as well. You don't have to go buy ice. This will make ice, or just keep your everything cold enough that you don't need to use ice. So we'll check that out. But yeah, we'll come back here in 15 more minutes. So in 15 minutes, this should be at 25 degrees. So it looks like it would take a full hour for this to drop from 90 degrees to 0. We'll see, and then we'll see where this one levels out at. Oh, I went a few minutes past. We're at just over 45 minutes. We're only down to 34 degrees, so it's cooling slower. So now that we're close to freezing, it's only cooling at about 10 degrees every 15 minutes. And then let's check this one. 50 degrees. So we're at 50 in this one. So 45 minutes, this one's at 50 degrees, and that one's at 34. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, but Ken, these are different. That's regular plug into the wall, 120 volt. That's 12 volt that you can plug into the wall. And you're right. It is. They do have different purposes. But I don't need anything. I don't need a full-size fridge in here. We have 2 within 10 feet, basically. The kitchen has a full regular refrigerator. And then our pantry has the other fridge that a lot of people use, other people's garage fridge. The previous owners enclosed the porch. I turned it into a pantry, and that has another fridge in it. So all the other food and everything else for the house when we need more space goes in there. So this is just going to be for me, for my son, for anybody else who's working out here, not to hold the household worth of frozen foods or something else because you need extra. Where this one beats this one is that it doesn't have to stay in here. If you're going to go somewhere, if you back the boat up and you flush it, or you do some maintenance and you get it ready to go on the water, you can just throw this in the back, plug it into the cigarette lighter, and go. You can throw it in the back of the Jeep. You can throw it in the RV. You can just use this thing all over the place. You can't do that with this thing. This thing is going to stay where it's put, where it has power that it can plug in at. This one has 12 volt power capabilities, and it can go anywhere you want. So you can keep it in the fridge and actually use it versus just keeping it in the back of the boat or keeping it in the RV all the time where it doesn't get used as often. So that's the benefit of this one. You can get up and go. Not so much this one. So let's see how long it takes to get these down to their resting temperature. Hopefully this one isn't already at resting temperature at 50 degrees, and then we'll have a video. I missed my last check-in by 10 minutes, so an hour and 10 minutes later, but the thermometers have decided to enter the chat. So this one is showing 26 degrees, and we are 40 degrees in this one. So yeah, it's 50-degree difference. It drops 50 degrees in an hour, and this one dropped 40 degrees in an hour. So we're still cooking here. I'm going to give it another 30 minutes at least before I check in again, just to see where we're at, to make sure this is, if 40 is the resting point, and if 26, obviously this is going to keep dropping because we are on max. So we've got a little while to go here, but that's how long it takes. Again, you know, you're going to be good to put stuff in here and get on the road in 30 minutes if you've got to take this thing up and out. But and this will keep on cooling. You can plug it in your car. So very soon we'll see how much power these draw over the course of an hour. It's been about an hour and 45 minutes. We're 19 degrees in the SetPower, 39 degrees in 120 volt refrigerator. But I went to unplug the 120 volt and plug in the SetPower to my meter, and this fridge has stopped fridging. So I can't explain it. It's not turning on. I swapped it back over. So we'll see. Maybe it got too hot because it's hot back here. So it got hot. Maybe we'll let it cool off, and maybe I don't know. The temperature's slowly climbing in there. I don't know. Why did you stop doing your job? But this one did fine. So we're pulling less than 1 amp AC current. This is AC, not DC. We can check DC here in a few minutes. And 55 watts. So 55 watts and 0.75 of an amp of AC current. So it's doing pretty good. I just wish I knew what this one was doing. So maybe this one will turn itself back on. We'll see. But you know, we got a timer here. 3 minutes 46 seconds it's been going for. Temperatures should be dropping soon. Well, it's at 21. I don't know why it'll drop. Temperature will drop. It just paused for a second. So we will let this keep going. We'll see what we got. But it's weird. Why did you stop? All right. This is a very interesting test, and I don't know where it's leading this video. But I just walked away for about 30 minutes, and just kind of hit me why this test is being so weird. And it's because it's currently 89.9 degrees in here. So it is 90 degrees in this garage. So I'm pushing both of these refrigerators to do what they're doing in 90-degree heat. That's why this thing it's at 9 degrees right now. This says 16. This side of the refrigerator said 9. I think it lost its connectivity again. But it's taken over 2 hours. No, almost 2 hours, hour and a half, a little more than an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get. And when I was fiddling with it, it went up and came back down again to get to almost 0 degrees. So it takes about 2 hours to drop in a 90-degree garage. So I think I'm going to need to run this test again in the house. So the house is closer to 70 degrees, 70, whatever the wife sets it at, whenever she does. So when this is done, I'm going to set this thing up in the house, let it get back to temperature, and see if you're in an actual climate controlled area, if it gets to that temperature quicker. Because I had it on last night and it seemed like it was getting the temperature much, much quicker. But again, this thing I think overheated and stopped, and it had to cool down because it's so hot. So, and it's not even cooling past 42 degrees now. So it's very interesting. I guess this video is how do these perform in a 90-degree, which one? I found it. Intro number 2. How well does a 120 volt or a 12 volt refrigerator perform in a 90-degree garage? Stand by, stick around to find out. Yeah. How does that, I don't know. Future me decide if it stays in chronological order or what, but yeah. I guess just don't put it in a hot garage. We've been struggling here. It's we're 15 seconds away from 1 hour, 64 watts. Right now it's pulling 48 watts, still under 1 amp AC. exactly 48 kilowatt hours. So 48 kilowatt hours, but I did find out something else here. When I went to touch this, you see the 123, 126 degrees. Yeah, this power supply, 137. Yeah, this power supply is almost 140 degrees on the back of it there. So it's working hard. But let's end this 120 volt test. It's down to 5 degrees. It is set at -4, but it's doing a good job. It's got us down to 5 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to 12 volt real quick. I don't think we're going to run a long test, but I'm going to see how much it draws. I just made this quick test lead here. Run into this Nudie Power battery that does have Bluetooth, so it will just give me the direct readout. I do have a plan to build an ammo can power bank, 100 amp or 10 amp hour, so that'll be in the future, but let's give this a 12 volt test. One little quirk here I found is when I had unplugged it to plug it into the amp meter, and I unplugged it now, I had to unplug it twice because the first time when you plugged it back in, it just didn't want to start. Unplugged it, plugged it in again, it worked fine. So the temperature did kind of rise a little bit, but we are currently at 4 amps and 56 watts of power. So maybe I'll run it for just a few minutes, see how it does. This is only a 15 amp fuse here, and that battery has 100 amp BMS, so the 15 amp fuse should pop before the battery does anything. Still 4 amps, so you don't need a big system to run this. I'm guessing more like a 10 amp fuse than a 15 amp fuse, and 52 watts of power. So this says on this battery running, and this is obviously running on max in a 90-degree garage, it says I have 26 hours and 18 minutes on a 100 amp hour battery. Basically, this thing doing everything it can to cool what it can cool. So almost 4 amps, 50 watts. So it's trying hard. I'm going to give it just about 10 minutes and we'll see what we got. It's been a little over 10 minutes. A few good things about running this on 12 volts. First, this never got below 7 degrees on 120 volts, and it's at 5 degrees now. I don't necessarily know if it's 12 volts is the reason, but that power supply is kind of a bottleneck, as it was, extremely hot. These wires are not even warm at all. The battery, so here's our information on the battery. We're still at about 3.5 amps and 46 watts, so under 4 amps and under 50 watts. So you don't need a big 5 amp fuse is probably enough for this thing. And then the battery 84.7 degrees, even though it's warmer here in the garage. So 12 volts is a way to go if you can go that way. If you had a converter and you're running this off of this, it'd probably be better. But yeah, we're cooling really well, and I'm going to take it in the house and probably let it warm up, and then see if we can get it all the way back to temperature, and then see how long it takes to get down to cooling, because this is pretty interesting. So I brought her in the house where the temperature is 77 degrees, and within minutes it was at -4. So yeah, it's working real hard out there. It's been sitting for 3 hours. When I came back to it, I did have to remove the ice pack because it had kept this thing to below 50 degrees in the last 3 hours, even though it wasn't frozen. So that was already a good test, doing pretty well. So what I'm going to do, my last test here, I just started this a few minutes ago. We're at 55 degrees. We're going to see how quickly this thing can get down to its -4. I'll report back what that temperature is. Then I'm going to take the ice pack, which is currently freezing, slide it back in here, turn this thing off, put a couple of drinks in here. In the morning, we'll see how cold those drinks still are. So it's just going to sit right here on the counter, let the drinks stew, and I'm going to crack one open in the morning, see how cold it is. So this thing legit took exactly 30 minutes to get to -4 from almost 60. So not bad at all. Let's do the drink test. This thing isn't even frozen. I'm going to put in my morning Celsius. And this is the best drink on the planet. Nobody go to Walmart and buy these because they already seem to go fast. That one's in there. So seems to stay a little cooler on this side, but not bad. Again, this thing is not frozen. This is a -4. I'm going to turn this thing off, unplug it. In the morning, I'll plug it back in, see what the temperature is, see how cold that drink is, and drink that drink in the morning. It's about 9 hours later in the morning. Let's see if it feels cold. Well, it's not too bad. Let's plug it in, see what the temperature reading says. So 61 degrees. And again, this thing wasn't frozen, but it was a -4 when I turned it off last night. So 9 hours, it's still 61 degrees. So it's still like 12 degrees colder than it is in the house. So not bad at all. Pretty pleased with it so far. My daughter has said that it's going in her car and she's taking it back to college and it's going to stay in her car. So there's a debate here there to be had. So overall, I learned that this fridge is terrible. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I was trying to be cheap. Also, in the space that it fit in the RV, we've got about 1 inch to spare, so there's no extra room. There are other fridges that actually have a freezer built in that are better. I'll look at those, but if you're going to buy one of these, make sure you buy one that specifically says garage, or do some AI research to find one that is recommended for a garage or an RV, because I had to unplug it because it stopped again and I couldn't get any readings out of it. I couldn't measure it. So it would continue to stop, I think, because it overheats. It's not designed to be in a warm garage like this. So that's crazy. But lesson learned. I guess I'll have to go up in a bedroom or something, and then we're in the office below my desk for some cold snacks and not back to the RV. But this thing will fit in the RV and it'll be perfect. So I can run it off 12 volts or 120 volts. This thing really likes to run off of 12 volts. It's running off 12 volts right now and doing even a better job at cooling than it was at 120. I like it. Again, I like the size. It's not too big. It's perfect to put in the back of a Jeep, in a car, in a trunk. It's not too tall. It's not huge. It's not a weekender, unless you're going to go and buy more food. But for a day trip, it's absolutely amazing. And if you're just one person in a small vehicle and you're traveling or something and you need to keep stuff cool, it's perfect size for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna have to watch this video just like the last one to learn something, because it's all too much, because I thought it'd be an easy test and it wasn't. But like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things help me out a lot, and we'll catch you on the next one.